you could start by telling us your name and what you do.
My name is Nigel Hanlon, and I'm a senior software developer with NearForm.
Have you been with NearForm for a while?
It was a year in September, so yeah, just over a year now. So having lots of fun.
Well, that's great to hear. And so I understand that you are the person responsible for the really amazing NodeConf app that we have. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, certainly. I can't take all the credit. Like a lot of software that we built in NearForm, it was a team effort. So we started off in February, and just a small group of us looking to upskill on different technologies, and we took it from there. We did it in our spare time, kind of evenings and weekends, and then kind of as we got closer to the conference, we just pulled in a little bit more help just to get things over the line. And it was a really good kind of way to learn new things, and certainly play with new technologies like the context API with React and things like that. So we learned a lot of new things along the way.
Well, very cool. I've heard there's a lot of really good feedback from the app. What do you think people like about it?
I think people like the fact that it's very responsive, it's quick. We did try and make it offline first with mobile in mind. So, conferences, Wi-Fi can go down, or, so many people on the network at once. We didn't want people kind of struggling to say, oh, what's the next event, or to get information. So we wanted all that cached as best we could. I think people like the design of it. It's very clear, the information that's laid out, and the way people can pick their workshops and what they're interested in. It's it's been good so far. Very good feedback.
So I've seen other conferences have apps before, but it's usually a native app installed from the App Store. I believe this is the first I've seen that's a web app. What led you to do a web app instead of a native app?
Well, there's a trend at the minute to move towards progressive web apps. So the idea that if you want to write a native app, you're going to have to write it once for iOS, you're going to have to write it again for Android. And the experience, although it can be a small difference, there is differences between the different platforms. So we wanted to build it once and build it quickly. So we used the best available web tech that we had. So that was React. We're using things, I think I mentioned the context API before, which is brand new. It allows us to very cleanly kind of manage state. So it remembers which workshops you've picked, where you were in the app, things like that. It really helps with the offline side of things as well. So we just wanted to make things quick, simple, and of course that seems to have really paid off with the feedback we've gotten.
So with most apps, or whenever we start a large project, we start off with this idea in mind, and everything is all shiny and roses, and it's going to be perfect. And then whenever we're done implementing, then we kind of know all the warts. If there was one thing you could go back and change about the app now that it's been in production, what would that be?
It's a very good question. I think that there's some things like where the info pages were, I think people are saying, oh, it was a little bit hidden in that. There were cases where there's some features we would have loved to have added if we had time. We wanted people to be able to register for evening events. We wanted to do a better kind of integration with the badge and the actual app. So workshops that you selected, you'd get your custom timetable displayed on the app, things like this. A lot of great features, maybe next year. So we'll see how that goes.
Thank you very much, Nigel.